The galaxy had never known a leader like Kane. Standing on the observation deck of the newly established Galactic presidential station, he looked out at the swirling nebulae and distant stars, each a home to civilizations with histories older than Earth itself. Yet for all their experience, none had possessed what humans had, a blend of curiosity, adaptability, and empathy that turned even the most intractable problems into opportunities for connection. From the moment humans joined interstellar politics, they have been outsiders, small and physically fragile, yet astonishingly clever. Their ships lacked the overwhelming firepower of the Vecron dreadnoughts. Their fleets were minuscule compared to the fleets of Xyrillians, and their lifespans were short compared to the immortal Arcani's elders. But humans had something no species could replicate: a capacity to think beyond precedent, to question assumptions, and to approach every challenge with creativity tempered by ethical insight. Kane remembered the first time he mediated a dispute between two species over the contested orbit of a resource-rich asteroid belt. Alien leaders had argued for months, their debates rigid, bound by tradition and rules of honor. Humans approached differently. Kane listened, asked questions that seemed almost naive, yet each question revealed a deeper truth about what the other species truly valued. By the end of the negotiation, what seemed an inevitable war transformed into a cooperative mining agreement, with both species benefiting and trusting humanity to oversee compliance. This ability to unite diverse civilizations became humanity's hallmark. Where other species relied on intimidation or complex hierarchies, humans built trust through empathy and ingenuity. Hybrid communication networks allowed languages to be translated in real time, energy systems repurposed to benefit multiple worlds simultaneously, and policy proposals modeled in simulations that accounted not just for logic, but for morality and cultural nuance. Every system humans touched reflected their unique approach: practical, ethical, and creative. The greatest test came with the Vecron expansion. For centuries, the Vecron had grown relentlessly, assimilating planets and imposing strict control over neighboring systems. Diplomacy had failed, war was expected. Kane proposed something no alien could have foreseen: a solution that combined strategic foresight with creative incentive structures. Humans suggested a network of trade, mutual defense, and scientific exchange, offering the Vecron recognition, resources, and shared prestige while preserving the independence of neighboring worlds. The negotiations were tense. Alien delegates doubted humans' influence, expecting Kane to fail. But humans thrived in such uncertainty. Kane's team adapted proposals in real time, responded to objections with creative compromises, and leveraged subtle insights into Vecron psychology. Weeks of debate culminated in an agreement that prevented war, secured cooperation, and established humans as impartial but decisive mediators. It was a moment that would be recorded in the histories of countless species, a human-led solution to a centuries-old conflict. Human ingenuity extended beyond politics. Technology reclaimed from alien ruins was repurposed to solve problems previously thought impossible. Communication arrays that once transmitted only raw data now facilitated cultural exchange, allowing species to share art, philosophy, and scientific knowledge. Energy systems that powered cities and ships were optimized for sustainability and mutual benefit. Every innovation carried a distinctly human signature: the capacity to see multiple possibilities, anticipate reactions, and craft solutions that balance practicality with ethics. Kane often walked the halls of the presidential station alone, reflecting on how far humanity had come. Once confined to a small, fragile planet, humans now guided the destiny of an entire galaxy. Yet what amazed him most was not the power they wielded, but the responsibility with which they wielded it. Humans had proven that leadership was not about domination or fear. It was about understanding, adapting, and inspiring cooperation across species whose histories and values were vastly different. Even small gestures carried immense weight. A human diplomat mediating a cultural dispute between two alien worlds might seem insignificant, yet it reinforced trust, demonstrated fairness, and prevented conflict from escalating. Each act, each decision, reflected the human ability to synthesize logic, empathy, and creativity, a combination that no other species could match. As Kane looked out at the stars, he realized that humanity's greatest strength was not in ships, fleets, or even advanced technology. It was in the mind itself. The human brain could adapt, innovate, and empathize in ways that no algorithm or genetic predisposition could replicate. It was a strength that had allowed a physically small, young species to rise as a stabilizing force in a galaxy of powerful, ancient civilizations. And so, the first human president of the galaxy continued to lead, not with fear or coercion, but with ingenuity, moral insight, and boundless creativity. In every negotiation, every treaty, every innovation, humans left a mark, a testament to the fact that even in a galaxy of wonders and dangers, the human spirit could turn impossibility into achievement, division into unity, and potential into destiny. The galaxy watched, adapted, and learned, but humanity had already proven something eternal, that intelligence paired with empathy, creativity tempered by ethical reasoning, and courage guided by understanding could shape the course of countless civilizations. The stars themselves seemed to acknowledge it, as if the galaxy had opened its eyes to the remarkable, unpredictable brilliance of humanity. The galaxy was far from peaceful, despite humanity's early successes. Alien species, long accustomed to hierarchy and conquest, chafed under a system built on negotiation and empathy. Factions formed, some quietly plotting against the Galactic Assembly, others testing the limits of human patience and ingenuity. Kane understood that leadership was no longer about winning hearts. It was about navigating a labyrinth of intrigue, ambition, and unpredictable alien logic. The first major crisis emerged from the Varian Cluster, a dense star region home to dozens of technologically advanced civilizations. Centuries-old rivalries flared as several species claimed rights to newly discovered resources in the cluster. Historically, disputes like this had led to conflict, often erupting into wars that consumed planets and star systems alike. Kane approached it differently. Rather than issuing decrees, he sent a team of human mediators and engineers to the cluster. Their mission: observe, understand, and propose solutions that no alien council could have conceived. Mara Lentz led the delegation. She arrived on the surface of one contested planet and immediately noticed the subtle cultural cues, ritualistic behaviors, patterns of negotiation, even the way disputes were framed. Humans, unlike many species, did not impose their own logic first. They adapted to the existing systems, learning the unspoken rules before suggesting compromise. Using this approach, Mara designed a network of shared resource management, creating neutral energy hubs and rotational governance councils. Meanwhile, in orbit above the cluster, hyperhuman alien fleets monitored for potential sabotage or escalations. Ships equipped with adaptive shields and predictive AI moved unpredictably, creating patterns that confounded alien warships. The Terra-like Vecron fleet, long considered the galaxy's dominant power, attempted to leverage intimidation, but found that human unpredictability made traditional strategies ineffective. Every maneuver humans executed was simultaneously defensive, strategic, and adaptive, forcing alien commanders to reconsider centuries of military doctrine. The negotiation itself became a marvel of human ingenuity. Humans proposed a multi-layered agreement that addressed the immediate territorial disputes while also integrating long-term cooperation. Energy-sharing grids, mutual defense pacts, and trade incentives designed to satisfy even the most aggressive factions. Kane personally mediated when discussions stalled, using questions that seemed innocuous but revealed hidden motivations. If we prioritize energy sustainability over territorial control, what gains might you see in trade and influence? A simple human question reframed the debate, shifting focus from ownership to opportunity. Weeks turned into months, and the agreement slowly took shape. By leveraging creativity, empathy, and adaptive reasoning, humans resolved a conflict that had vexed multiple species for generations. The Varian cluster became a symbol of what humans could achieve: unity without force, progress without domination. Kane's success earned him cautious respect from skeptics and deep admiration from those who had once doubted humanity's ability to lead. But the galaxy's challenges were never simple. Beyond the Varian cluster, the Obsidian Rift, a volatile region where gravitational anomalies warped space-time, threatened trade routes, and endangered countless civilian ships. Traditional technology could not navigate its unpredictable gravitational currents. Humans, however, had a talent for improvisation. Engineers adapted alien propulsion systems, combining them with human understanding of fluid dynamics and real-time computational modeling. Fleets traversed the rift safely, and trade continued uninterrupted. The galaxy began to notice a pattern. Where alien species relied on power and rigid systems, humans thrived on adaptability and creativity. Kane's leadership extended beyond crises. Cultural initiatives flourished under his guidance, as humans introduced the concept of interstellar education and collaborative innovation. Alien youth learned human approaches to problem solving, which emphasized experimentation, critical thinking, and moral reasoning. Scientists from multiple species began working alongside humans to develop technologies that balance efficiency with ethical responsibility. Energy systems that did not exploit ecosystems, weapons that were adaptable yet constrained by strict usage codes, and communication networks that encouraged transparency and trust. Political intrigue, however, never fully disappeared. Some factions fear the consolidation of human influence, perceiving it as soft dominance masked by diplomacy. Assassination attempts, propaganda campaigns, and covert economic sabotage tested Kane's administration repeatedly. Each time, humans responded not with brute force but with ingenuity. Predictive AI identified patterns and plots before they could materialize. Hybrid communication networks exposed disinformation, and human diplomats reframed disputes in ways that neutralized potential conflicts. Each victory reinforced a singular truth: humans could navigate complexity that no alien species could fully predict. The defining moment came during the Solar Convergence, an unprecedented assembly of nearly all known civilizations. Alien leaders, some of whom had opposed human influence for centuries, gathered to discuss the formalization of the Galactic Assembly into a permanent governing body. Kane's proposal was elegant: a council that balanced representation by species, adjusted for population and lifespan, and incorporated mechanisms for equitable resource distribution. The proposal emphasized collaboration over dominance, innovation over tradition, and ethical reasoning over brute force. During the debates, alien leaders attempted to assert their customary authority, citing historical precedent and numerical superiority. Kane responded with clarity and insight. History is not a chain of inevitabilities. It is a canvas. Each species has contributed a stroke. But the painting of our future requires creativity, collaboration, and responsibility. No single species can dictate the design alone. His words resonated. Where logic had failed for centuries, the combination of empathy, creativity, and ethical reasoning convinced even the most skeptical leaders. Votes were cast, calculations made, and the motion passed overwhelmingly. Humanity's principles, adaptability, ingenuity, and moral insight, were codified into the galaxy's governance. Kane was reaffirmed as president, not because of fear or coercion, but because he had demonstrated that humans could guide multiple civilizations toward unity, progress, and stability. The galaxy celebrated cautiously at first. Humans were young, fragile, and untested compared to the elder races. Yet within months, the fruits of Kane's leadership became evident. Trade flourished in previously hostile sectors, conflict subsided, and collaborative projects, ranging from energy grids to educational exchanges, expanded across star systems. Aliens who had once doubted human capacity to lead now sought their counsel for matters ranging from diplomacy to technological innovation. Kane's philosophy reshaped galactic politics. Power alone could not govern. Creativity, adaptability, and ethical reasoning were essential. Humans introduced flexible problem-solving techniques, rapid adaptation protocols, and real-time negotiation frameworks, all designed to respond to the unpredictable nature of interstellar society. What alien species could not compute, the human mind's ability to innovate under uncertainty, became the foundation for peace and progress. Even centuries-old rivalries began to dissipate. Species learned to view humans not as conquerors, but as mediators, collaborators, and architects of fairness. Humans had not only united a galaxy, they had taught a new language, one where ingenuity, ethics, and adaptability mattered more than dominance, rigidity, or brute strength. And as Kane stood in the central chamber of the Galactic Assembly, gazing at leaders from thousands of worlds, he realized extraordinary truth. Humanity's rise was not a result of strength, technology, or numerical superiority. It was a triumph of mind, spirit, and the human capacity to see beyond the obvious, to empathize where others calculated, and to innovate where others relied on precedent. The first human president of the galaxy had proven something universal: that intelligence guided by creativity, morality, and empathy could reshape civilizations. The galaxy had learned that humans were not merely participants. They were leaders capable of turning impossibility into achievement, conflict into cooperation, and potential into reality. Humanity had arrived not as conquerors, but as innovators, problem solvers, and unifiers. The stars themselves seemed to reflect it, as if the galaxy had acknowledged the brilliance of a species that had once been small, fragile, and underestimated, yet now guided countless civilizations toward a future defined not by dominance, but by ingenuity, collaboration, and hope. The galaxy's newfound stability was tested in ways no one had anticipated. A massive anomaly, later named the Celestium Rift, emerged near the galactic core, a swirling vortex of unstable energy capable of tearing planet apart and disrupting faster-than-light travel. Alien scientists were baffled. No computation, no matter how precise, could predict the rift's behavior. Panic spread across dozens of star systems, threatening chaos on a scale humanity had never faced. Kane convened the Galactic Assembly immediately. Alien leaders demanded explanations, safety measures, and in many cases, blame. Yet Kane did not panic. Humans thrived under uncertainty, and the rift presented exactly the kind of challenge where human ingenuity could shine. He dispatched interdisciplinary teams of human engineers, scientists, and diplomats, alongside willing alien collaborators, to study the anomaly. Mara lent coordinated diplomatic efforts. Species that had once mistrusted humans now worked side by side under human guidance. Kane insisted on transparency. All research, all strategies, and every potential consequence were shared openly across the galaxy. Suspicion and fear slowly transformed into collaboration, as leaders realized that humans' approach, ethical, adaptive, and inclusive, was the only way to navigate the unpredictable crisis. On the research station orbiting a nearby star, human engineers devised a plan that seemed impossible. The rift's energy could be stabilized if fed with synchronized harmonic pulses, distributed through massive arrays positioned at multiple points along its perimeter. Yet these arrays had to adjust in real time, responding to constantly shifting gravitational and electromagnetic fluctuations. Traditional alien systems failed to adapt quickly enough. Only human-designed hybrid technology, combining alien energy manipulation with human adaptive programming, could succeed. Elias Vartan led the technical teams. He and his colleagues worked tirelessly, designing networks that could self-correct, reroute energy, and respond to unforeseen anomalies. For humans, the challenge was exhilarating rather than terrifying. Unlike other species, they embraced unpredictability, using it as an opportunity to innovate. By simulating thousands of potential scenarios simultaneously, the human-engineered systems learned to anticipate the rift's fluctuations in ways alien algorithms could not. Meanwhile, Kane coordinated the assembly. Alien fleets, once suspicious and competitive, now operated in perfect synchrony, guided by human strategic oversight. The rift threatened both the core systems and outer colonies. Yet no species had monopoly on solution. The humans simply knew how to harness collective effort. Kane's decisions were a blend of foresight, empathy, and risk-taking, balancing immediate safety with long-term stability. The day the stabilization attempt began, the galaxy watched in tense silence. Massive arrays activated, glowing with energy both alien and human in origin. Beams of harmonic pulses danced across the rift, bending and twisting in impossible patterns. The anomaly responded unpredictably, yet human teams adjusted every second, rerouting energy flows, compensating for shifts and fine-tuning the arrays. Alien leaders, observing the process, could only marvel. Humans were not merely applying technology. They were thinking, improvising, and adapting faster than the universe itself. Hours passed. Moments of near failure came and went, each resolved with creativity and boldness. When the final harmonic pulse stabilized the Celestium Rift, the galaxy erupted not in fear, but in awe. Planets that had been at risk were saved, trade routes reopened, and civilizations once divided now shared gratitude and respect for human ingenuity. Kane's leadership had turned what seemed an unstoppable cosmic force into an opportunity for unity and collaboration. The Celestium Rift instantly cemented humanity's legacy. Across the galaxy, species no longer saw humans as small, fragile outsiders. They were innovators, problem solvers, and the architects of stability in a chaotic cosmos. Kane's philosophy, that intelligence paired with empathy, creativity, and moral reasoning could overcome any obstacle was validated on the grandest scale imaginable. Yet humanity's triumph was more than technical or political. It was philosophical. The crisis demonstrated that leadership was not about power or intimidation, but about insight, collaboration, and adaptability. Every species that had once doubted humans now acknowledged that unpredictability and ingenuity were strengths no rigid system could match. Humans had not conquered, they had inspired. In the aftermath, the Galactic Assembly formally recognized Kane's contributions. Statues, monuments, and interstellar commemorations celebrated not just his leadership, but the uniquely human approach that had saved countless civilizations. Humans, meanwhile, continued their work quietly, integrating alien knowledge with their own adaptive creativity, always seeking solutions that no one else could see. As Kane looked out at the stars from the presidential chamber, he reflected on humanity's journey. From a small, fragile species on a distant planet to the center of galactic leadership, humans had never relied solely on power. Instead, they relied on what made them human: curiosity, creativity, empathy, and the ability to adapt. The galaxy had been tested, challenged, and forever changed by a species that refused to be limited by size, lifespan, or strength. The stars seemed to acknowledge it, shimmering with a sense of possibility. Humanity had shown that even the most unpredictable challenges, the Celestium Rift, centuries of alien conflict, or the vast unknown, could be met with ingenuity, courage, and ethical wisdom. In that moment, Kane understood something profound. The future of the galaxy was not merely secured by human leadership. It was illuminated by it. And so, the first human president of the galaxy continued to lead, guiding countless civilizations toward collaboration, progress, and shared destiny. Humans had proven that intelligence guided by empathy, creativity, and adaptability could reshape the universe. Their legacy would endure not because of force or dominance, but because they had taught the galaxy what it truly meant to lead with vision, ingenuity, and the human spirit. The galaxy had entered an era unlike any in its long history. Under the guidance of Kane, the first human president of the galaxy, civilizations that had once been divided by suspicion, rivalry, and fear now worked in harmony. Trade routes thrived where once piracy and blockade were rampant. Scientific discoveries accelerated as species shared knowledge rather than hoarding it. Cultural exchanges flourished, and even the most insular worlds began to see the value of collaboration. Yet Kane knew the work was never truly finished. Leadership was not a static achievement. It was a continual challenge, a constant negotiation with uncertainty and diversity. Humans excelled in such an environment because they embraced it. Where alien species saw obstacles and threats, humans saw opportunities for innovation, understanding, and unity. Their strength lay not in physical might, nor in centuries of tradition, but in adaptability, creativity, and moral insight, the qualities that had transformed them from a fragile species on a single planet into the guiding force of the galaxy. The final test of humanity's approach came in the form of a coalition of factions long opposed to the Galactic Assembly. They argued that humans had accumulated too much influence, that one species should not wield such sway over countless civilizations. The coalition threatened secession, economic warfare, and even conflict. Many expected a prolonged crisis. Kane, however, acted as humans always had, with insight, patience, and ingenuity. Rather than respond with force, Kane invited the coalition's leaders to a series of dialogues unlike any before. He listened deeply, asking questions that revealed their true concerns: fear of losing cultural identity, apprehension about resource allocation, and distrust of central authority. Humans proposed solutions that honored these concerns: decentralized governance structures, shared resource systems that respected autonomy, and educational initiatives to foster mutual understanding. In each negotiation, humans balanced logic with empathy, creativity with ethics, and foresight with pragmatism. Weeks passed. Slowly, the coalition's resistance melted away, not because humans had overpowered them, but because humans had outthought them. They demonstrated that governance could be fair, cooperation could be mutually beneficial, and diversity could be celebrated rather than suppressed. By the end of the process, the coalition not only joined the assembly, they became active participants in shaping policies, inspired by humanity's approach to leadership. This moment crystallized humanity's legacy. The galaxy recognized that human leadership was unique. Humans did not dominate, exploit, or coerce. They innovated, inspired, and united. Their unpredictability was not a weakness, but a strength. Their empathy not a liability, but a tool. And their ingenuity not just cleverness, but a force capable of reshaping civilizations. The galaxy had witnessed what no species had before. A small, young species guiding ancient civilizations towards stability, progress, and shared destiny through the power of thought, creativity, and morality. On the day the Galactic Assembly formally ratified the final treaties of unity, Kane stood before representatives from thousands of worlds. He spoke not as a ruler, but as a human, curious, adaptive, and visionary. We are not here to impose our will, but to share our way of thinking. Intelligence guided by empathy, creativity, and ethical reasoning can achieve what force alone never could. Let this be our legacy, that even the smallest among us can illuminate the path for all. The crowd erupted, not in fear or obligation, but in awe and admiration. Across the galaxy, beings of every form and mind celebrated a future defined by cooperation, innovation, and human ingenuity. Kane gazed out at the stars, knowing that humanity's journey had begun long ago on a small planet called Earth, yet had grown to shape the destiny of countless worlds. Humanity had proven itself capable of the impossible. They had united diversity, solved crises that spanned light years, and guided civilizations toward peace without domination. They had demonstrated that leadership at its highest form is an art of empathy, creativity, and moral insight. The first human president of the galaxy had not merely held a title. He had shown the galaxy what it truly meant to lead. And as the stars shimmered beyond the observation deck, Kane smiled. The future was vast, filled with unknowns, challenges, and wonders. But humanity was ready, for in every problem, humans saw opportunity. In every conflict, they saw potential for understanding. And in every star, they saw a canvas for ingenuity. The galaxy had learned to trust humanity, and humanity had learned that the possibilities were infinite. The first human president of the galaxy had changed everything, and in doing so, humanity had changed the course of the cosmos forever.